Hey, y'all. Hey, this is the Joys of Loss podcast, where we acknowledge, accept, and address our major life transitions so that we can learn better, love better, and live better. Since we won't make it out alive, let's have a divine time. And remember to always stay wild. I'm your host, Zan Washington, and this is episode 1. All right, here we are. I am finally doing a podcast. What? This is a big deal. This is a big deal today. So probably going to be some tears. They're already welling up. And something that makes today really special. When you all see this, the day would have passed, but the day that I'm recording this is actually my first daughter, River's 4th birthday. And it's amazing how time really does go by. And I really can say that time really does heal. And time really has become my friend. And today, this first episode, I'm going to tell you the story of River. We're going to go back to 2018 when I found out I was pregnant. And that was like, what? So Alex and I, we weren't married yet. And so finding out that I was pregnant was like, oh, okay, so we're doing this. It's cool. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, everything's fine. We're fine. As you can see, it was fine. But yeah, and so, kind of like telling, our best friends, telling our family, and going through that was very interesting because we're in our 30s. I was 32 at the time. And telling my parents that I was pregnant, I don't know what I thought they would do. My parents they were never the people that, I really want a grandchild, need to hurry up and have a kid. No, those aren't my people. But I think I expected them not to react in the way they reacted. So they were just more of like, for real? Like, you're really pregnant? And I'm like, yeah. So, okay. And I think them as parents just, I guess, me and Alex, we were talking about getting married and everything, but we just hadn't done it yet, and it just hadn't gotten there. And that was something that was really heavy for my parents, and let them tell it. Well, let my dad tell it. Since my mom is passed now, but at the time, they could be like, "We didn't make that big of a deal that you weren't married when you were pregnant," and I'm like, y'all don't remember anything about that time, but I do. So they there wasn't any bells and whistles, but Alex's family, they were pumped, they were excited, so that was cool to get some of that energy. But pretty much during that time, I had started a new job. So I was working at a new high school. I started coaching speech and debate for the first time. So that was nuts. And so it was just a lot of new things during that time. Now, fast forwarding through pregnancy, everything, is going pretty good. Like, we're fine. Now, the doctor did say, hey, we need to check something out. And they thought something might have been wrong with River's heart. But after examination, there's only so much you can do, when your child is in the womb. So they had to, it's kind of more of just saying like, we'll just see when she gets out, and for those of you that have ever been pregnant or, are moms now or, even gone through any type of loss with babies and things like that, or just the pregnancy thing in general, it is nuts. The poking and the prodding and the things that doctors and stuff like that do during that time. And it's one of those where you're just kind of like, I want some clear answers, but you really have to just release and let go, because there's just a lack of control. It's you can't control. So anywho, we knew there was some kind of thing going on, but we didn't know exactly what was happening. So, again, we were just gonna have to wait till she got here. So around month 8, that's when you are, what's month 8 in pregnancy? Hold on. So 32 weeks. Is that 32 weeks? Yeah. Yeah, 8 times 4. Yes, 32 weeks. So around 32 weeks, I feel like I started actually accepting the fact that I was about to have a baby. And I know some of you might be like, month 8, girl, like you getting bigger and you waddling around here. You didn't. No, I think due to kind of a little conflict that was going on with my family, and just kind of knowing that it's not where I wanted my life to be at the time. And then working at a new job, coaching, speech and debate for the first time, doing a lot of traveling with those kids. And it was just so many things. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I don't even remember like buying baby clothes, y'all. Like I don't think I bought anything. And so around month 8, I was like, okay, like let me, if this is happening. So, we have our baby shower. And then week 37. All right. So that's like 9 weeks. So, your full term is considered 40 weeks. And just for those of you to know, it could go all the way up to 42 weeks. So just brace yourselves, if you're there. But so 37 weeks, we go in for our regular appointment. It was a Wednesday. It's funny. Today's a Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Wow. Oh, today's Tuesday. Whatever day it is anyway. So it was a Wednesday and we go in for our appointment. And so at that 9-month mark, that 36 weeks or whatever, you start going every week to your doctor. So we go in, and a lot of times these appointments, y'all, they check you and then you leave. Like they check you and then you leave. They're like, great, you're good, awesome. And then it's almost, why am I here? Okay, it's just a waste of time. So we go in there and our doctor was going to check, for the heartbeat and all that kind of stuff. And we weren't hearing anything. And so she was very calm, by the way. Shout out to the doctor. And so she's like, all right, tell you what, guys, I'm gonna actually set y'all up for an ultrasound. And yeah, we just want to, check some things out. And so, honestly, like Alex and I, we really weren't tripping at the time. It's just like, okay, cool, we'll wait to get an ultrasound. We don't really know what's happening. So he does the ultrasound and he was like, do you know what we're looking at? And I'm like, well, yeah, like it's, our baby. And that ultrasound, y'all, it was just, it was like so it's like you see movement and stuff like that, but it seemed like just like a void was in there. We didn't hear anything anymore. And, and he told us, he was like, so she's honest. I can't even remember how he said it, but he said it in I guess the best way he possibly could. But he said basically like she was gone. Like she just wasn't alive anymore. And, I just remember looking at Alex and we were just looking at each other like, what? Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what is this? And, and honestly, in this pregnancy, we were waiting till our baby came to determine the sex. So we just knew our baby's name was River, but we didn't know whether she was a boy or a girl. And So then I asked, well, what, was she, was she a boy or girl? And we found out she was a girl. And so, yeah, then we, go back to the office and talk to my doctor. And she's like, okay, so we will induce you tonight. And it's like, induce you? What? So I think immediately when I found out that we had lost River, that I'm like, great. I had planned to do a natural birth as much as possible, so have a vaginal birth. And I immediately was like, great, they're going to cut her out of me. Now I got to go into surgery and this is some bullshit. And then my doctor is like, yeah, so we'll induce you around 7 and da da. I was like, induce? And she was like, yeah, like you're going to push her out because we want to set you up for, the next pregnancy. If you choose to have another kid, so where you can have a better chance at having a vaginal birth. And I'm like, so wait, I'm going to push her out? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, okay. So after all of that, we are still in the office. She leaves, we're crying, of course. And, and then it's like the first call I make was actually to my dad. And, like he started crying and it's like, it's just the calls you have to make. So I remember calling my best friend Val. She was at work. She crying. And unfortunately, Alex and I were in 2 separate cars, so we're split up at the time, headed home. And he's calling his best friend, and his best friend Nate's crying. And it just all sucks. So we get home, and honestly, the type of person I am, I just want to go back to my desk, right? Because I want to clear off this desk. So I had prepared, because I'm a preparer, all right? I had prepared like all my lesson plans, all the copies, like all the things were done, all right? They were done, but they were in the corner of the desk. Like I was just leaving work to go to the appointment, like on a planning period. I had decided to, like, since these things are so short, I could make it in between. Well, I didn't know I wasn't coming back. And let alone wasn't coming back for 6-some weeks. So I got to call my principal and be like, so this happened and I'm not coming back. And this is what it is. But man, all I wanted to do was go to my damn desk. And I think I'm still a little resentful of Alex that he didn't let me go back to that desk. He was like, no, you're not going back to school. It's like, I mean, like at least let me go to the desk. Anyway, so that didn't happen. But, we're at the house. I get some food. Who knows what I ate? Probably Whataburger. I don't even know, y'all. Ate something because, you get to the hospital, you can't eat anything. So probably ate that. And then went into the hospital. A lot of family and everybody came while I got induced. So they got to, it takes a second for induction. But thankfully, my body responded to like the Pitocin very well. I think we started the induction process probably around like 9 p.m. And y'all, it was like 7 something the next morning. No. That night, it was like, oh my God, my doula, Anya, shout out to Anya, love you, boo. I had to call her and I was like, do you still come? She was like, yeah, I'm coming. So she came. And we did, so going through the induction process and all that. And so then I'm like, kind of laying around, kind of felt a little something. And at first, y'all, I was like, man, like I still want to have like a natural birth and all this. And then I was like, girl, like you better go and get this epidural because you done lost your kid and you got to push out this dead kid. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not apologizing. Like, that's who I am, y'all. So welcome to Zan. Like, I'm not fluff. I'm not light. I'm hella deep. So yeah, I had to push out this dead kid, y'all. And I'm like, I was about to do that natural. because I'm an Aries rising and I'm just like, huh, all right. So, and then I just said, like, get the epidural. Like, we don't have to do this. Like, we don't have to do this. Like, we don't have to, I don't have to prove nothing. You know, this is bad enough. Okay, this is bad enough. And honestly, I didn't want, like, my heart to go out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I still had a job to do. You know, I got to push this kid out. So that's the thing, like, with the grief and the loss of all of this is that, like, knowing that, like, my kid isn't living anymore, but I still got to finish it. Like, I got to do this. And so, because now it's going to harm me. And so, yeah, induction process, all of that. And then I just like feel this like, blah, 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 and that's like the sac or whatever. And so my water broke. And so it just went, like, it was intense. And that's like a cool feeling, you know, just kind of moments when you just like, man, my body's really working. Like, my body's really doing what I thought it would do, what it's supposed to do, or whatever supposed to is, quote unquote. So water breaks, all of that. Then, yeah, it's like 7 a.m. And I was like, hey, the nurse comes in, you know, like checking or whatever. And I was like, I think it's time, because my doula told me that, like, you know, if you feel like you about to poop, you know, it's probably about time to push. And so the nurse goes over and she checks me and she's like, does this like, yeah, she's 10 centimeters, like, and it's like, yo, it's time to go. It's go time. So, you know, I was taking my deep breaths and doing the things. I got Anya on one side, I got Alex on the next, and you know, we pushed her out in like 20 minutes. So shout out to me. Woo! So yeah, got her out, and it's really interesting too, like when you're going to the hospital, when like the hospital knows it's a stillbirth. So, you know, we had a certain symbol on the outside of our door. You know, all the nurses knew. They were all like really gentle with us. And so it's so interesting too, like pushing out a kid, and, you know, there's no cries. There's no noise, nothing. You know, they still like measured her and all that kind of stuff, cleaned her up a little bit. Alex still got to cut the cord. But like, y'all were just like holding this dead baby in there. And it was like hella normal. It was nuts. You know, we're all like taking turns holding her. And the nurse was like, yeah, you can just keep her in here as long as you want to. And yeah, that was something, y'all. You know, and I think the interesting thing is like to go to a hospital, you know, to have a baby, and like I'm pregnant and all that, and then I leave lighter with no baby. You know, you leave with, we didn't go in there with a car seat. We didn't go in there like with nothing. And yeah, so leaving out of there, you know, it's like, it's just really interesting. It's just so many things that you pay attention to, like when you go through some traumatic things in your life. And I have to say, like, River at this point was like that first, what I'm going to start calling earthquake. You know, losing her it really did rock the world up under me. I have never been in an earthquake, but I can only imagine like standing somewhere and the ground up under you is just shaking. And like, what do you hold on to? What do you grab? And that's what I felt. That's what I felt like after losing River. Because it shook up everything. It changed everything. It you know, I would tell Alex, you know, after that, I'd be like, babe, like, what do we do? What do we do after this? Are we just supposed to go on and continue living like normal? Like, I was pregnant, now I'm not. There's no kid here. I just go back to the way things were. And it's like, nah, I can't. And so, I mean, it was one of those like really trying to figure out, like, how do I live after this? How on earth do I just continue on? And then it's like I took my maternity leave and I went back to work after that. Like, what the fuck? What? Oh, why would I go back to work? But it's like I didn't know what to do. You know, y'all, like that. It's like I don't have a baby, so I have no reason not to be chilling at home, knowing I'm just broken inside and sad and just miserable and whatever. But it's like I guess I'll just go back to work. And then the worst part is you go back to work and it's like everybody else is just going on with their lives. Everything's just doing whatever. You know, the kids are doing them. Everybody's doing their thing, and here we are. I'm in postpartum. And so I didn't even acknowledge that really. I didn't do any like postpartum intentional healing. I'm almost thinking I don't even deserve that because I don't have a baby. And I just, but y'all, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, and honestly, like at this point, I have truly learned that, like, you know, if I could really admit that, like, you know, I wasn't ready with having River. Like, I know I would have figured it out. I know I still would have been a great mom. I know things would have been beautiful for sure. But that shit would have been hard. That would have been hella hard. Okay. And I'm just like, I'm so thankful that everything turned out the way it did, you know, and I know that could probably sound crazy to say, or like, it's like, thankful my kid died. And it's like, nah, it's not that. It's more of like, thanks for waking me up. Thanks for the earthquake. Thank you for saying that, like, I don't want my life to continue like this. Like, I have to stop, and I have to stop now. And I'm not going to hurt myself anymore. I'm not going to hurt others anymore. I'm going to own who I am. And after River is when I just went and dove into myself. Like, and that's what we going to talk about. That's what I like to share with people. That's what it is. Because what these major life transitions do, what these earthquakes do, is that they bring you back to you. They bring you back to who you are. What do you want? What do you need? And that's what I had to do. And now, like, my life is so much better. It's so much fuller. It's so much more honest. And it's after River, she helped me be everything I am. Now I want to be, y'all. I'm talking everything I am. She helped me be who I am. And that's what the fuck I'm doing. I'm being who I am. It's a phenomenal feeling. And shout out to my baby girl, the point guard of my spirit team. Ribby, mommy loves you so much. Just thank you for being you, baby girl. Whew. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm really happy I experienced that because it really has changed the way I parent my daughter now. It really changes how I deal with people and how I deal with others because, you know, that was like really my first major loss with River. And it's just so good to have that because my connection with other people is so much deeper and richer. And then I just have so much more understanding. So I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for that earthquake. I needed that. Zan needed that. I needed to be shook up for real. And yeah, it's awesome. I love it so much. So, all right. So what I like to do is pull an oracle card. I'm really into like tarot, oracle, numerology. I'm into the Gallup Strength Assessment. What else? Some other stuff. Finances, y'all. I'm a Taurus, so I'm all about that money. So we're going to talk about stuff like that. But we're going to wrap up today's episode with a lovely oracle card. See what we need. See what we need for today. And the deck I'm using is Rebecca Campbell's The Starseed Oracle. So it's a really nice deck, really pretty. So I'm going to read this one from the book. So I pulled Star Ancestors, which is befitting. Is befitting a word? We're going to go with it. All right. So in the book it says, on the card, Star Ancestors, it says, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. All right, in the book, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. The ancients knew much more than we do about our connection with the stars, their pyramids, temples, and other places of worship, created in precise alignment with the stars, exist in all corners of the world. What if this ancient wisdom is available for you to uncover now? You are being called to think and listen with your ancient heart and soul, to tap into the part of you that remembers and knows. All ancient secrets are whispered forever in your ears. All mystic knowing blooms in your heart. All potent power pumps through your veins. You're being invited to step into your ancient knowingness, to be held by the rememberings of the star ancestors, to look a little deeper. If you're feeling stuck, you're being called to do something different, to change your point of view. Creativity happens when we put together two things that don't belong, when we do the unexpected. So often, a creative solution is right in front of us. But because we think the same thoughts and act the same way, we miss what's in the open. You're here to remember and uncover ancient secrets and transmissions, technology and wisdom that are so needed on the planet right now. To unlock your soul's memories of a time when we lived in harmony on earth and one day will again. That's so perfect because that's exactly what River did for me. It's like just help me connect and be able to hear what was being whispered in my ear the whole time. So I hope this was wonderful for you all. I hope that you can go toward your life a little more open, a little more understanding, and just remembering your ancestors, remembering even the people that you've known, that you don't know, that they continue to connect with you. I love y'all so much, and this has been great. I'm so happy that I've started this podcast. I hope we grow and learn together, and I'm looking forward to sharing some more beautiful stories and things that I've experienced in my life and things that I am experiencing in my life. So since we won't make it out alive, let's have a divine time and remember to always stay wild. All right, I'll see y'all next episode. Bye.